when we are no more in this world, what would you like to be remembered for?
What I would like to be remembered for
Yes.
is a beautiful and a difficult question at the same time. What I would be remembered for would probably be how I feel I have been able to change lives of not only people younger than me, not only students, but also of some of my friends.
Right.
And also how I have been open to receive from them the wisdom. I've been open to that, and I have been equally, what should I say, besides being receptive to what I have received, I have been able to give.
So you'd like to be remembered for a person who was giving, who was open, who was receptive,
Also a very happy nature.
also a very happy nature. आपको ये पता था कि आप हमेशा ऐसे ही रहेंगे या आपकी कोई जिंदगी में कोई ट्रांजिशन आई है?
नहीं, मैं समझता हूँ कि करीब 18-19 साल तक तो I was a seeker. I was somebody who was initially not knowing his, what should I say, his navigation points and not knowing his bearings until I started become aware of myself. And through a process of discovery, I reached a point when it became very important for me to know what is the purpose of my life. So I went through huge churning for a couple of years.
Right.
And the very purpose of existence was the only thing that mattered to me, and without that, life did not matter to me. Then gradually, when the purpose became clearer to me, I think from the age of 20.
20? So
Yes.
young, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That's when I discovered, what should I say, spirituality.
Gee.
Before that, I was not exactly agnostic because my grandfather gave me very high sense of values, my parents gave me very high sense of values. But I didn't go through a period of agnosticism, and also a
Was
period...
it kind of colored by any political belief?
No,
Or was
it was purely based on intellectual
understanding.
understanding. Yeah.
Okay.
So then I started realizing that there is something beyond the intellect. I used to think intellect is
Right.
everything, even though I had been given a good grounding, And one thing is very clear, that religion never attracted me. So for me, spirituality meant a relationship of the soul with the universe as well as with other human beings. And I also realized that I wanted to live life with zest, with full intensity, with full joy. And I also learned very quickly that this can be better achieved by merging spirituality with dialectical materialism, if you may say.
So therefore also your attraction towards art, theatre, which is also has a very deep-rooted spiritual... So at one time you were making bridges, and at one time you were doing theatre.
Yeah.
About human emotions, and this was about material matter, and this was human emotions. And you were treading both these paths effortlessly.
I wouldn't say bridges was about matter, it was about technology and how it can benefit mankind.
Okay.
It took me a while to realize that what I was doing was very significant as an engineer of water resources,
Right.
and as an environmentalist. And initially there was a bias towards theatre, and cultural activities. And I was able, when I went to Calcutta at the Brecht International Festival, and we saw the biggest floods in 200 years.
Right.
And at that time, I realized that the world, and I saw that outside our place we were staying in a Dharamshala, where the festival was postponed by 3 days. I saw that outside our Dharamshala, there were pavement dwellers who were in neck-deep water for 3 days. initially, at one point I had this confusion that engineering is very dry, even though I had gone through the whole engineering thing. Because when I got through this spiritual dilemma, I started veering towards humanities, And then it struck me that what I am doing in engineering is also humanities. That I can rescue the world from whatever disaster that happens by planning properly, by what should I say, water management.
Right. And I believe you still do that in your home. I visited, I know you, so I know you've made a lovely water harvesting in your own house in Delhi, in Greater
Yes,
Kailash.
it was one of the first few water harvesting structures in Delhi,
Right.
the first one in my own colony. And in fact, Doordarshan made a program on that, on the water harvesting, and that structure is still working perfectly.
And how many years has that been?
And that has been 2003, so now this is 2007, for 14 years.
Oh my God.
It has not needed any servicing, any maintenance or anything like that.
So you've perfected that, you're doing it at home, a domestic water harvesting system.
I'm doing it at home and also encouraging people to follow that.
Right.
And I have a web magazine on water and environment, and also on philosophy and spirituality. It's
Right.
called One World.
Right.
One World with a V. And in that, I'm also trying to spread education, awareness about water.
Right. And so teaching has been with you for a while now. You at the Kajau International Film Festival, you had a workshop for 4 days with children, and I was also one of your colleagues in that. What's your views on having theatre workshops in small towns like here, where children don't have film literacy or there's film advocacy? So what would you suggest, and how do we take this further?
See, first of all, one has realized that it is areas away from metropolises where the real India resides. And the brilliance of mind is also away from metropolises. Because you see, in a metropolis, if you're trying to learn anything, for example, like filmmaking or theatre, anything that's creative, there's a lot of unlearning to be done,
Right.
And that's where you face a lot of resistance. But in people from small towns and rural backgrounds, there's no preconceived notion, and therefore the minds are very receptive, and they can be very creative also. So the one thing that I have also realized after coming to places like Bundelkhand and after visiting your Rudrani Kalagram and the kind of marvelous work that you are doing there, and the big dreams that you have, both in Orcha and in Khajuraho, which Raja Bundela's dream, and you people are both working in great synergy in both the areas. And actually there is a lot of compatibility with the work you're doing in Rudrani Kalagram and the work you, Prayas Productions, is doing here in Khajuraho. One more thing I have realized, that people in Bundelkhand say that they need development.
Right.
But almost the whole world is suffering because of development, of too much development, of unbridled development.
Okay.
We in Delhi, for example, where I live, are getting choked with the kind of pollution that we are having.
China,
everywhere in the world.
countries,
Yeah.
yes.
So when I come to a place like here, where there are lots of trees, vegetation still, less development, therefore less pollution, small populations, I see that actually people have a much higher happiness index than they can have any. And what we can bring, what knowledge I have gathered all through my life in different fields, whether it is engineering, whether it is water, whether it is theatre, whether it's filmmaking, whether it's animation and graphics, which is also what I teach. So all that we can bring, or I would like to give, because I have received a lot.
Wow, that's lovely.
So that's
really
all I want to share. Whatever I have learned, I want to share with a feeling of abundance.
Wow, that's
And a
so
feeling
wonderful.
of, what should I say, great humbleness and gratitude towards the people who are accepting what I'm giving.
And they're accepting it so well, as you know, they have little children, they're sending you films. they recognize you when you go there to Chhatarpur. Everybody was saying sir and ma'am and everything. They were so it's a great feeling. And you've been teaching in Metropolis, so you've been teaching in big colleges and universities and triple IIT and all. And here these little children from small locations who've come from far away places and taking permission, and they have to be looked after because they're very young. Some of them are rural background, not educated, and yet with the kind of grace and humility that this workshop was conducted by you and Meeta Vaisheshta and others.
And you are the one who brought us together, who strung the whole this thing, pedagogy together for the young.
Yeah, it actually worked very well as a team. And so you think that we should continue with this. What are your views on how should we take this further, this particular workshop situation?
Because the children are so receptive, and even I would say children and young adults are so receptive, so open, so willing to learn, that it would be a good thing that we can do for them, It would be kind of a human service that we can do for them. Because, there are, what should I say, the different kinds of sevas. One is the Kshatriyuchit seva, which the martial races, the army gives to the nation. One is the Vaishyochit seva, that is the seva with money. And one is the Shudrachit seva, that is when you serve people,
So you want to serve them with your knowledge?
No. So this is Viprochit seva.
Okay.
You serve them with your intellect.
Oh,
and whatever you have in your mind, you try to give. Because if you try to improve the capabilities of the mind, the empowerment of the mind, the mind is, what should I say, it is the ruler of your entire body, your entire actions, and your karma, you see. So the mind is refined and polished, and it can manage things well. It can manage technology in a way that it is beneficial to them as well as to the society around them. Then there is nothing more beautiful than that.
Wow, that's really lovely. I have another two questions. Now, you've done so much in your life. There's so many fields that you've done. You've been successful in almost all of them. You're a family man with a lovely wife, children. I know them personally. What is that one particular thing still left for you to accomplish? Is there anything, one thing that you feel I have to achieve in this lifetime? So many people who say, मुझे वो एक किताब लिखनी है यार, मुझे वो इंस्टीट्यूशन बनाना है, मुझे वर्ल्ड घूमना है. आपका कोई एक ऐसा कोई एक ख्वाहिश है, कोई ख्वाब है जो अभी तक आपको लगता है कि एक चीज़ है बस, ये अगर कर लूँ तो मैं गंगा.
सिर्फ एक चीज़ है, क्योंकि मैंने देखा है कि जो सारे जितने भी काम जो मैं कर रहा हूँ उसमें कुछ तो मैंने पा लिया है और कुछ मैं इस जीवन में नहीं पा पाऊंगा, क्योंकि देयर इज नो लिमिट, in the material world, to your even in the intellectual world, there is no limit to the amount of knowledge that you can pick up and then you can disperse or whatever it is. Only thing is the human hunger, the difference between an animal and a human being is that an animal has finite hunger. If a lion is well fed, then he will not attack, for food at least, But a human being's avarice for having more and more,
जरूरत भी नहीं तो भी चाहिए,
जरूरत भी नहीं तो भी चाहिए और चाहिए. आपके पास 3 कारें हैं तो आपको 4 चाहिए. A parigraha says that have only as much as you need. So I know that as long as you can sustain yourself comfortably and meet the needs of your family, then you have to go achieve for the higher self-realization. So the only goal that I have in my life is that I should go deeper and deeper into my inner self and realize more and more cosmic consciousness within me and see it around me in all living beings. That's a continuous exercise, so that even while I'm doing karma, I should be able to see the glow, of the cosmic amongst all the living beings, amongst all the animated and inanimate objects. That is the only dream I have, and I have no other dream, because that accomplishes everything else, that inclusive of everything
else. So
it's
self-realization that you're seeking.
Yes.
Basically that. Oh, that's really lovely. Thank you so much, and I just want to like to know a little bit about. This is the third time that you've been to KIFF. I want to know what do you feel about KIFF. What do you have to say about KIFF?
See, first thing I'll say is that your orientation is different from any other film festival, not only in India but anywhere in the world. It is not totally celebrating film aesthetics, and the art of cinema, whatever it entails. It is also, and it is not, what should I say, too elitist also. It is trying to create awareness about cinema because it can be a very beneficial medium of communication, of making a society which is not fully aware about it. It has not been exposed to that much of cinema. First of all, making them sensitive to art and culture, and to the film aesthetics, and improving their ability to use this as a medium of communication and medium of self-growth.
Right.
So first of all, it's an inclusive thing. It is not elitist. The very concept of tapra takis, it reminds me of the film society movement which happened in India a decade or two ago,
In fact, I just made a round to the 4 other Tapra talkies.
Okay.
Just now, I just took the car, and you'll be surprised, they're all full. Except for the Tapra talkies here, which is in the central place, where there were just about 20 people. Every Tapra talkies is full. So, it's so heartening, and they're very big and very well constructed, well ventilated this time. So we started with 1 last year, now it's 4, and it's 5. 1 at the venue itself and 4 all over Khajuraho. And I'd be very happy if you get time tomorrow to just go and view, because that is
that's very important.
Exciting.
That is very important. And
you'll be very happy to see that because you've been part of this, right?
Yeah, I would also like to add one more thing. Besides making the general population, the young people, aware about cinema and all that, it is very important also to have trained journalists, and critics who can analyze the cinema.
मतलब इन्हीं में से मतलब हमारे कल्चर में किस तरह से आप सोचते हैं ऐसा?
नहीं, देखिए ना, इसमें भी अलग अलग तरह की स्पेशलाइजेशन हो सकती है. We can have people who can analyze cinema. They can become the critics, the analysts. We have people, as I was telling the students the other day, initially most of them wanted to be actors. But gradually, when you and I and Meeta Vashisht, 3 of us, worked together with them, their attitude changed.
Right.
As the Rani Sahib of Khajuraho also noticed, and she said in her speech in the first gathering we had with the press, that the students gradually realized that there were many other avenues even in cinema.
जी, मतलब सिर्फ acting नहीं करना,
सिर्फ acting,
दूसरी
because
चीज़ें भी
it
करना.
is glamour which attracting them towards acting, but there is also editing, there is cinematography, there is set design, and also to that I want to add this criticism.
मतलब आप कह रहे हैं इसके साथ साथ क्रिटिक्स का भी विमोचन हो और एनालिसिस हो,
ताकि वो देखिए, अब कोई फिल्म मेकर्स अपनी फिल्म लेके आते हैं तो ऐसे वो भी काबिल लोग होने चाहिए जो उस फिल्म को समझ के आम पॉपुलेशन तक ले जा सके. Because you can't go on educating people over there. There have to be people in this field, or in the field of journalism, who can also spread the.
तो कैसा आप सोचते हैं साल भर कुछ काम होना चाहिए, किस तरह से, क्या राय है?
ये तो this depends on how much support you get from the government and other agencies and all that. And after all of you have giving up your own precious time, giving up the time that you would actually be earning for yourself and your children, and giving service. So if these things are, if they can be managed, then the more you can give, the better it is.
आपकी पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस बताइए किफ के बारे में, आपकी बिल्कुल निजी एक्सपीरियंस रहा.
देखिए, मैं 2 बार आया हूँ किफ में.
ये तीसरा साल है आपका?
ये तीसरा साल है, लेकिन मैं पहली बार आया था और तीसरी बार.
हाँ जी बिल्कुल.
तो मैं 2 बार आया हूँ यहाँ पे, एंड आई कैन सी ए लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस. सबसे पहली बात ये है कि किफ के बारे में सभी जानते हैं. होल ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश, उत्तर प्रदेश, बुंदेलखंड, द एरिया विच इज एनकम्पसिंग बोथ, सम पार्ट्स ऑफ बोथ, स्पेशली इन बुंदेलखंड एरिया. So KIFF has grown, and the way Raja Bundela has taken his dream forward selflessly, you know, and with no personal, what should I say, personal, trying to get any personal benefit out of a sheer sense of the kind of energy he has injected into the whole dream, and the way you supported Raja, you know, you've been like the back end of his front office, you know. So that the KIFF has grown. It was beautiful even when I came for the first time, you see, because it was a dream which was starting to begin, you know.
But do you see any active change since the first time you came to now?
Active in the sense that it has become bigger, there's more energy, and there are now big filmmakers, you know, who've done giant and humongous amount of work during their lifetime, who feel a certain amount of commitment towards what KIFF is doing, and you've got a really capable governing body, you know, which is with you in whatever dream you are having. So you've got a very good, strong team, and everybody is working selflessly. And everybody is working. What I've really found was that people are working from their hearts more than anything else. So that is what really makes it a moving experience, you know. And coming here has been, I mean, I'm very thankful to you for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to work with young people and also.
Thank you so much, Manoharji. And here we just want you to write a little bit.